Here is another quick 9 playthrough here on the channel for you all. The date and the divisions, of course, shown on screen in the thumbnail. Remember to hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Timestamps in the description down below, and remember the replays here are from old tournaments, so use the old ball attribute levels, which have now, of course, doubled. Hope you're enjoying Quick 9. Good luck, and remember to tweak according to your clubs and balls and wind angles. Here we go. Par 4 here, and we do have an eagle to show you on this one. Katana is what I'm using here. Obviously a Kingmaker is good as well. I'm stretching out here as I'm using a Katana. Obviously with a power 3 ball or a better driver you wouldn't need to do that. But I'm adding my top spin and I want to bounce over and use the right spin and some curl to reach that little patch of fairway to the right of the bunker. The adjustment here is max plus 20, and then I'm going to push up the rings I was stretching out. Making sure I'm not going to overdo the push-up here because the tailwind is going to give us a bit of a push and we don't want to land directly into the rough. A ball and a half of curl to the right in this wind angle, no overpower, but we do want a perfect ball, and you will see here this one does bounce over very, very nicely. Definitely didn't want to push up any more than that, but we do clear the rough and the top spin will take us very nicely down the fairway. Drive distance 392. Here we are going to go with a thorn shot, and I'm going to play from the minimum distance line. Obviously if you're a little bit further back on the drive, if you have less top spin, then you will be needing different spins here. But I'm finding the minimum distance line, and then I'm going to add my spin, which is obviously going to be backspin, and setting up here with the ball guide to the cup. Just pushing up a little bit from min because we do have a slight tailwind angle. I don't want to adjust to be in between clubs. So setting my spin, ball guide to the pin, and here my adjustment is minimum distance minus 10% elevation because this shot is played uphill. So min minus 10, even though I did push up a ring or two, I'm still playing min numbers. Perfect ball, and we do have a good chance on this hole, and as you can see the back's going to play another 1-to-1 adjustment, so nice and simple here, and it's going to be a rough bump in all winds with the sniper. As you can see I'm adding spin. We need a side spin 3 ball, so it's going to be 3 left spin and top spin or back spin depending on the wind angle, but I want to first bounce into the rough and then get the ball to roll down the green into the hole. Deliberately offsetting the ball to the left and long due to the headwind angle, and the crosswind element's going to push us to the right, so we're going to compensate there. In tailwind you will need to have your ball guide a little bit short, but in this wind angle 1-on-1 is working nicely, so 7.1 rings, 7.1 for the wind, so exactly the same. Might need to adjust differently in different wind angles, may well need more if you've got direct headwind, but either way the rough bump and a side spin 3 ball is the way to go for the hole in one. On to the next hole here, and we're going to lay up with the quarterback or the rock. So nice consistent drive, max plus 10 is going to be the adjustment here. Red ring touching the rough, plus 3 yards with quarterback 9 and 10, plus 7 with QB 7 and 8. We don't need much top spin at all here, might need to tweak it depending on the wind angle, but you will always need 2 bars or 3 bars side spin to the right. We're going to also play with curl as well. You'll see I use about 0.8 ball curl to the right. Like I said, quarterback or the rock is ideal here because you want accuracy, ball guide and curl, but I favour laying up as I do here to the end of that first piece of fairway. Second shot here we're going to play with a wood club. I would recommend the sniper for ball guide and accuracy. True club distance 5% elevation would be my general suggestion, and that's what I use in the video. I'm going with a no spin approach here with this tailwind angle. Obviously if there's headwind in this scenario you'd need a bit of top spin, set up with a ball guide around a green square to 2 green squares through the hole. You might need to increase your elevation with a level crosswind as well. It's one of those you're going to have to judge for yourself. But as this course is fairly flat, really you're just adding elevation to get rid of any second bounce wind effect. So I'd play probably 10 or 15 in crosswind, but I reckon 5 is good for headwind and tailwind from my initial setups. Slight tweak needed here. We just burn the edge but that is a very good opportunity in all wind angles for the Albatross. Another excellent opportunity to get on the green in one, and you are going to see some hole-in-ones on this one as well, I guarantee it. Going with a power 5 ball, 2.5 backspin, 2 bars left spin. You might need to vary the backspin amount depending on your wind angle and your wind strength, but I'm stretching out there to find my position, going with max distance of the extra mile level 8. APOC is good here as well, of course. I'm adjusting max and I'm adjusting 10% elevation, pushing the rings because otherwise the trees will be in the way. Pushing back up and then going with a 3/4 ball curl to the left. This shot will be difficult in headwind, so you might need to lay up on the left-hand side of the map and approach from a little bit more distance. But any form of tailwind and maybe even crosswind with overpower, you can get on the green here, and we want to be putting for the eagle and maybe getting that lucky hole-in-one. With this par 3, I would recommend you go with the Grizzly for ball guide and accuracy. I'm playing with 2 bars of right spin to set up as far away from the water as possible, and in the end with this wind angle, a little bit of backspin, half a bar. I find my position with the ball guide 1 green square through the hole because of the slight headwind angle, and then to get the required offset, rather than adjust a load of rings, I take away a lot of the side spin. So in the end I leave myself with half a bar side spin to the right, because that's going to give me the offset that I need. Obviously in tournament scenarios you need to tweak your spin setup, but this gives you an idea of where you want to bounce and what spins you might need. I would always go with the right spin when you are setting up initially, because you don't want to really adjust into the water or land too close to the boundary. Max plus 20 is the adjustment here. A very nice flat piece of fairway to bounce on. Obviously your offset will vary depending on your wind angle, but as a general play here, we drop that nicely for the hole-in-one. There is an aggressive route down the left-hand side, but you need a lot of distance and topspin. So in the majority of cases, I would play here on the right-hand side. 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the left. If you have more topspin available and headwind angle, then obviously that will help a lot. So basically APOC 5 plus. But if not, crosswind and tailwind you can get over with a lower level extra mile. Adjust max plus 10. Here I'm pushing up as well. After I adjust, I push up 1 ring just to make sure I gain some distance on the drive, because I want to attempt an aggressive shot for the approach. Perfect ball away, and we want to approach the top left corner of the second piece of fairway. There you can see we're bouncing comfortably away from any of the rough, and the top spin takes us along here towards the top corner. Drive distance 372 yards. Second shot is all about getting the spin correct and trying to find a funnel. The more right you go from the pin, the more increasing your chances of finding the funnel. If you go straight at it, there seems to be less room for error, but you can see there's quite a wide section there where the tip of the ball guide doesn't really move. I can adjust kind of half a ring at least either side with my landing spot, and that ball guide isn't moving at all. So it's all about adding spin. We're going to need left spin regardless. Here, because the wind is pushing me left to right, I intentionally leave the ball guide to the left of the cup. This is something, once you know the tournament wind conditions, you're going to have to just take a token or two and dial in if you're creating shots yourself. But I'm playing true club distance, 10% elevation on this one. So TC on the notepad, true club plus 10. So have a look at your landing position plus yards if you can. If not, you're going to have to do a different distance check, but a good consistent drive will get you in plus yards for the rough bump, and it catches the slope very nicely and sneaks in for the Albatross. On this par 4, we need to try and get to green off the tee. In the example here, I'm going with 4 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the left, stretching out here with a power 2 ball just to find my position where the second bounce is deliberately in the rough, just before the halfway point on that fairway island, because the tailwind is going to push me further with that second bounce. Obviously in headwind, I would recommend you go with a power 3 plus ball and play with more topspin if you can. In this wind angle, I go max plus 30, and then I push up the amount of rings that I was using to stretch out to find my position. In my case, it was about 1.5 rings. Then I'm going to take my shot. You will always need 3 bars of left spin, or maybe 2, in which case if you've only got 2 available, you need to play with more left curl. But we want to swing this ball around to the left, so the second bounce is on this little patch of fairway, hops over the rough and rolls nicely onto the green or onto the fringe area for a very simple eagle, wedge or putt. Spin grabs very nicely, we drop it for an eagle. 2 options here, which I will describe. Just going to show you the sniper bounce over in tailwind. If you do have any headwind though, you can play a no movement shot with either the rocket or the quarterback, just to the left and above the beginning of the bunker. This is a tricky par 3 here, so add your spins. Again, this is difficult to get the pace right, and hole in one here, if you do grab one here, is going to be very, very good indeed. Max plus 20 is the adjustment here, and if I'm playing the quarterback shot as well, I will be playing that either minimum or medium distance with 20% elevation, because like the other par 3s on this course, we do have a lot of elevation to deal with. Just bouncing before the bunker does come in a bit short, but again, it's going to be a very simple putt for the birdie on this tricky par 3. If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of 3 ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. Now for the replays here on this par 5, I'm going to play with a berserker, because it is going to really help us on the second shot. This is a very long par 5. So I'm playing with the quarterback for the accuracy. Could also go with the rock as well if you have enough topspin. If not, then obviously you can use a driver with power, extra mile, Thor's hammer or Apocalypse as well. But the good thing about the quarterback is you can hit a minor great left, great right. You're still going to be fine with this narrow fairway. So adding topspin as shown, I do have a strong wind here, so I do take a little bit off to be cautious. The adjustment I'm making here is max plus 5. Max plus 5 on this one. And okay, we may not need a berserker really for the drive if we're using a longer driver, but for the second shot, a power 5 ball is really, really useful. And you'll see why in a moment. Minor great right, but still going to be absolutely fine, and we find very safe position on the fairway. Second shot, regardless of wind direction and wind strength, you are going to need a wood club with distance. I will go with the Big Dog or the Cataclysm, whichever offers you the most topspin. Here, as you can see, I'm playing with almost 8 bars of topspin, 1 bar side spin to the left, and we just want to use that topspin to get as close to the green as possible. Pretty much level crosswind here, as we have turned a corner in our direction from the drive, and this is slightly uphill to the green, so we do want to make sure we have as much pace as possible. Once again, I'm going max distance 5% elevation. We do drop down to a slightly lower point, so I'm going to push up slightly here to max. Don't have much room to push up, but I then decide to go with about 1 ring of overpower just to compensate for adjusting down to a lower point. Perfect ball away. Obviously beware a great right. You will get into the bunker most likely, and a great left does risk the rough. But we come very nicely up to the green for an easy wedge for our eagle. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.